this episode of
Yes.
Hanging with Hero. How you doing, Jennifer?
Hello, Erin. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It's actually funny. I had one of those stress dreams that you get in high school last night.
Oh, no.
You know how you imagine you like miss the exam or worse, come to school naked? I I dreamed that I woke up Thursday and missed this episode. So I'm really
Oh,
glad to
dear.
actually be here with you.
I would have been calling you and bugging you.
Yes, I'm
I
sure
can't
you
let
would
that
have.
happen. I can't let that happen. I have the
True.
dream that like a whole semester has gone by and I never went to class for one of the classes and
Oh
I need
yeah.
to get a grade. Oh,
Those are the worst, I have to
nightmare,
say.
nightmare. But we're here
Yes.
today and very excited celebrating 50 years of Hero Arts and we have two more crafty friends joining us tonight. Would you like to introduce them?
Yes, before we do that, I just want to say how grateful I am to have such a great community of people. Thank you all for joining tonight. This is our third episode of Hanging with Hero. We have it in episode 0 where Jennifer and I just tested it out and had fun and talked about 50
Yep.
years of Hero Arts. And I have to say that I've learned so much already, and I look
Oh,
forward to
yeah.
learning more from our two new guests. For example, Jennifer, if you would have pursued being an engineer full time and maybe just didn't feel like this hobby was something you wanted to do all the time or just nights and weekends, I mean, we would have missed your grace, your kindness, and your creativity. The industry would have not been the same.
I would
Um,
not be a happy camper. So,
Yes, I know that about you, and so I'm
yes.
really glad that you made the decision to join. And then on episode 1, we had Tim Holtz, right? He could have
Yep.
pursued his dream of being an accountant,
Yeah.
and the world would have been a worse place. At least the creativity side of the world
Yes.
would have been a worse place. Or if he wouldn't have gone to that stamping class that he mentioned,
Yep.
that he met a teacher that inspired him to express himself. And what did he
Yep.
produce? Distress Inc., right?
I
20 years
know.
celebrating. And then we had Gina on our
Yep.
most recent episode. If her and her husband would have just stayed in that rock band and gone professional, or if she would have just kept the nail salons, we just wouldn't have had
Yep.
kind of the same industry that we have today. So I'm thankful. I just want to say
Me
that
too.
I'm really thankful every day that we have such a creative industry, that I'm here with you today. We have the opportunity to do Hanging with Hero, not only celebrate Hero Arts 50 years, which is really wonderful, but also celebrate this industry that is a rare, rare place.
I
And
agree.
yeah, and the idea of having crafty friends come and talk about their backgrounds and how they get inspired and how they see this industry, man, this is so fun. So it's well exceeded my expectations.
I agree.
Uh, yeah, so a big thankful to you, Jennifer, for joining and co-hosting with me, and thank you everyone for joining
Yes.
tonight.
I'm glad everybody's here. I'm glad.
Yeah, and you're going to be really excited to have joined tonight. I'm excited because we have got two wonderful guests who I really appreciate. I really find engaging. I enjoy watching YouTube, and creativity and craft. Card making would not be the same without them.
Nope.
It's the engaging Kristina Werner and the effervescent Cathy 𝗔𝗟𝗄. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Here comes trouble.
Hello, effervescence.
Wow. Thank you too for being a part of Hanging with Hero, coming and celebrating 50 years and telling us about everything that you do, because I know the people joining tonight know you and know you well. And they're going to probably hear some things that they maybe didn't know about your background and your contributions to this industry. So I'm excited to explore it with you.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Erin. Hello, everyone. It's super cool to be here. So thanks for inviting us.
Yes,
Yes,
it's an
of
honor.
course.
Thank you.
It's just an honor. Thank you so much.
So
Uh,
scrapbooking and stamping is what we're going to talk about tonight. I know that Cathy mentioned before we started that she has some old stamps, and Christina has kind of worked with Hero Arts for many years. So this is going to be a fun discussion. But let's start with not necessarily talking about the industry, but your own individual kind of stories. I mentioned you guys are heroes, and every hero has their backstory. So, Christina, let's start with you. What what
This is like my
inspired you to
Marvel
get?
prequel.
Yeah, exactly. So what would be your Marvel name? No, but what got you excited to be in crafting, in card making? Your card art is
Um,
renowned. Pulling it out of envelopes is your signature. Tell
Yeah.
us
well,
how
thank
you
you.
started.
I was a reluctant crafter. So back when I was in college, I have two sisters, and they decided I don't remember agreeing to this, but they decided that we were going to make a scrapbook for our mother for Christmas, and that we were each going to make one page like per year and just add to it. And it was like pulling teeth trying to get me to do the scrapbook page. I didn't want to do it. I thought it was kind of dumb and stupid. Like I didn't know much about it, to be frank. And the only like crafting I had seen was little cuddly bears, and you know, not knocking that at all. That's just a specific style that's not my jam. Kind of like the more kind of kitschy, kind of shabby chic type look that was really big in like the 80s and 90s. It wasn't my
Mm,
jam. So this was like 2004, 2005. And I was like, I don't want to do it. So I reluctantly did the scrapbook pages, and they were like, these are so good. I'm like, yeah, well, whatever. Like I didn't want to do it. And then I graduated from college with my degree in graphic design and art, and I needed a job. And I think I was on like, I don't know, one of those websites that just lists jobs that you can apply
mm,
for. And I think it was the day before graduation. And I saw this job pop up, and it was for Stampin' Up. And I was like,
mm.
I have no idea what this company is, but I'm going to go ahead and apply. I applied to Stampin' Up and Yankee Candle, right? So
Yeah.
Oh.
I almost worked at Yankee Candle. So I graduated on a Saturday, and I think my interviews were like Monday at Yankee Candle and Tuesday at Stampin' Up. Like I hit the ground running. I had student loans to pay off. I was ready to go. So I went to Yankee Candle. It was lovely. I could have worked there. They were great. The next day, I was expecting to drive up to like this little dinky warehouse. I didn't know what Stampin' Up was. I didn't know. And they had just moved into their brand new big, huge building in
Mm.
Riverton, Utah. And so I pull up, and I'm like, whoa, I'm like driving in. I'm like, this place is huge, it's beautiful. So I walked in, I did the interview, and I was hired shortly after, but I still was not a crafter. I was like, I can work for a crafting company. That's fine. It's a paycheck, whatever. But I was not a crafter. But then I was designing their catalog, specifically their international catalog for Canada and Australia. And I was seeing all the projects, and I was like, this is not the same crafting that I thought it was. Like, this is different. This is kind of cool. And the next thing you know, I'm like sucked into like Two Peas in a Bucket and
Mm.
Split Coast Stampers. And I remember seeing like Basic Gray. Like they were kind of big, right? 2005, 2006. Like they were, I think Basic Gray kind of changed the industry a little bit. They had a very different look.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is kind of cool. And so I started crafting on my own at home. And I remember very reluctantly saying that I was crafting at home because I had given my sister such a hard time about it. but but here we are. So, and then over the course of the years, I went from designing the catalog to designing product at Stampin' Up. And then later I worked at Basic Gray for a couple years. And then I was full-time with Simon Says Stamp for I think 2 years until 2014. And then I've just been freelance since then. But that was the start. That's how I got pulled into this thing. And along the way, I was on design teams. I was on the Two Peas in a Bucket design team where I met Jennifer.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I remember going up to Minneapolis, near where Kathy lives, and going to the Mall of
Yep.
America to
Where I
the
was teaching for
Archivers
Hero.
Contest. She was teaching for hero. I took a hero class. And I remember thinking, holy crap, she is moving so fast. Like they really packed those classes.
Yes.
You had a lot to
They
do.
were not fun. They were rough.
Well,
they were rough.
I mean, it was fun, but I think more than anything, you walked away feeling like you got the value for your money because
That's
it was
what they
so
wanted.
jam-packed with techniques and different things to do that, you know, at the end of it, I just thought it was great. So I did Scrap Fest. I did not meet Jennifer when she was teaching, even though we were both on that design team together. I was like, oh, she's busy. She's working. I'm not going to meet her. And then, like, I don't know, a number of years later, when I was working at Basic Gray, Jennifer emailed me out of the blue, and she's like, "Ever thought about doing classes, online classes?" And I believe Jennifer remembers that it was you were watching Kate and William's wedding.
Princess
so
Kate
the day
and
of
Prince
the
William.
royal wedding. It was the day of the royal wedding. And then I emailed back and I was like, well, I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, we could probably do that.
And that was it.
Online card classes was born. Ta-da!
Wow.
And she can't
Wonderful.
shake me. In fact, a week from today, we're going to Alaska together. So she's stuck with me.
Wow, that's wonderful. I think it's a mainstay of this industry that people get sucked in, sometimes reluctantly, like you, and then find a whole community that they love and enjoy and really become an important part. You guys are shining examples of that, becoming good friends. Let's talk briefly just about some of those names from the past, because seeing the comments from everybody, and again, thank you all for joining us. I mean, 2 peas in a bucket, Basic Gray. I mean, archivers, right? You probably work Mall of America, you know, you would visit archivers if you visited. Wonderful companies, a big part of the, late 2000s, early, 20 teens, and now out of business, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those 2 in particular, yeah.
Yeah, and Basic Gray, Hero Arts at Basic Gray did a combo line for a couple of years, which was tons of fun.
Yeah. And that's weird because we weren't friends yet. And Sherry and I would teach. We loved using the Basic Gray Hero Arts stamps. I mean, some of those background stamps were just absolutely incredible. And turns out Christina was on that team.
Yep, I was working on them. I have to correct myself. Basic Gray is still around, but they're not in the scrapbooking world. Like Rachel started Basic Gray. She does fabric lines for Moda, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I have to correct that. She's still around.
Yes, but not in scrapbooking, which is where they made such a big impact. And
they did.
If you ever visited an archivers, for anybody in the audience, I mean, if you haven't, that was a beautiful place. I remember in the first episode, Jennifer and I talked about Stampa Barbara, which was a mecca for woodblock stamps back in the 80s through the 90s, and closed in, I think, early 2000, 2001. But, I mean, going to an archives was the same thing for scrapbooking and then stamping and card making as well. Those were beautiful stores, especially the one in the Mall of America. I mean, massive, and they had so many events. Every night you could sign up for something, and they had a wonderful vision. Things were rolling for years at those stores.
You just would get in there, and you would get just taken in. Like, it was this magical power that you would just wanted everything. It was unbelievable.
It is the only reason I'm here on this live stream, to be honest with you, because that store, they were based in Minnesota, and then they expanded. But if you ever went to the store, that the first one I went to was in Roseville, Minnesota, it was transformative. I had no idea. I was not a crafter. And boy, when I walked in there, I always called it the Pottery Barn of crafting, or of crafting, because you walked in and they just knew how to merchandise. And I don't know what the dude's background was, but they just knew how to present all these things. And I expected Holly Hobby, and it was just very sleek. So they got me from hello. I mean, they had me at hello,
Yeah.
So true. Wow. Well, thank you, Christina. One more question before we get some of the history of Cathy, and that is, how did you kind of find the inspiration? Like Tim Holtz talks about in his, for example, that he did not want to stamp. Like he was reluctant. You said the same thing. You're reluctant, right? Gina kind of said the same thing. Like she was doing nails. I mean, nail salon. She was always artsy, like you. I mean, you've got a graphic design background, right? I mean, you got a degree in graphic design, so it's not like you were far away from art, but there was some reluctance. I find that so interesting that a lot of people have that story before they start and get so involved. And now you're a major influencer today. Like, why reluctance was the first kind of starting point before we were able to overcome that?
I can't speak for Gina and Tim, but for me, I hadn't seen something that spoke to me. And I had to like step into the industry far enough, like farther enough, like step into it further enough to really realize that there's kind of a style for everyone.
Yes.
If you are not a crafter, you just haven't, if you're not like a paper crafter, you just haven't found the style that speaks to you yet. That's what it is. Because I think once you realize that like, oh, I don't have to like print this out on my computer. Like I could like take a stamp and I could put it wherever I want and I can do something with my hands. Once you make that connection and that it's the way you want it to look and you see that you can make it the way you want it to look, then I think something clicks. And I think that's what I had to see. I had to see things in that Stampin' Up! Catalog when I was designing it, like to see really awesome artwork and stuff. I just hadn't been exposed to it. And once I was exposed to it, I was like, oh, I could do that. And that looks fun. I want to do that. So I think once people are exposed to it and they see it, and I think this is where it's been so good for the industry to have gone to like the YouTube video route. It's been so good because it's allowing more people to like, it's like easy access to the industry. Like they don't have to go to a store. They don't have to even pay money to like see some of these things be created. They can just watch at home on their computer or on their cell phone when they're standing in line at Disneyland to get on their ride. They can be watching something being made and they're like, oh, I want to make that, you know? So I think that's been really good for the industry, all the video stuff. And I know Jennifer was reluctant to do video. And I know we're all very sad if she did not.
And you can blame Aaron. He's the one who talked me into it. So you can blame him or thank him, whatever you want to do.
Here we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah.
5 million videos later.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great answer, Cathy, because I think expressing yourself, finding your place, finding what really inspires you, I think is the point that so many people, I think, enter this industry and really fall in love. And it's a wonderful thing. And I mean, hey, everybody go visit. I see so many comments about archivers. Go visit your local stores. There are wonderful stamp stores, card making, crafting, mixed media, scrapbooking stores out there. They are exceptional at what they do. There's far fewer than there used to be, but man, support those stores and recognize that YouTube makes it possible in such a wonderful way, like you say, Cathy, to access all of these skills, inspiration, ideas, without having to spend a penny. And that's such a wonderful part, because when we started losing stores like Archivers, I was really worried for the industry. I was worried when Basic Gray switched to fabric. I was worried when Two Peas in a Bucket went dark. They were an online store for people who don't know, and they did a whole wide range of fabulous things, and those companies are missed. And I was worried that we wouldn't have the same impact. We wouldn't be able to find the same inspiration. And I think that what all three of you do, Jennifer, Cathy, and Christina, really breathe life into the excitement and the joy and the community. The community that we are experiencing right now, 1,200 of us all together talking about this wonderful industry and really finding that joy. So yes. So thank you, Christina, for working so hard to bring that inspiration every day, because you do a great job at it. All right, not that you're going anywhere, but let's turn to Cathy. And I would love to hear how you were inspired to join this world of crafting, and kind of the background that you started with in order to kind of make the path that you have today.
Yeah, well, the reluctance theme, I think, is just there. For so many of us where we don't see ourselves as crafters. I had worked as a graphic designer for a decade, easily a decade. My background is not graphic design, it's journalism, but I learned on the job, and I always worked in print design, and I fell in love with the process of graphic design. And so I always loved pictures. I always loved stories. I loved how they could, capture a moment in time. I was an avid journaler, and it was not until the store opened up in Roseville, Minnesota. They said there's a new store called Archivers. It's a photo memory store, and they have photo albums and scrapbooking supplies and craft supplies. And I thought, well, I'm not really into scrapbooking, because I had gone to a creative memories party once. I walked out with a paper trimmer corner thing that I still have to this day, but I didn't know what I was going to do with it. So I went to the store just thinking I'll pick up some photo albums because I take pictures. And that's when it happened. I walked in. I wasn't expecting, all the displays were like wood. There was no metal, and, it was not plasticky. Everything was warm, and the colors. And I literally just kind of stood there, and it was like, what is this place? What is this place? I took a lap through, and I left with a couple magazines. Ivy Cottage. I don't know if you remember Ivy Cottage, and the inaugural issue of Simple Scrapbooks magazine. I thought, I don't know anything about this hobby, this crafty thing, so I'm going to go home and read. Went home, came back the next day, and that's when the shopping and the obsession began. So what happened to me was thinking of myself as someone who would never be crafty. It wasn't cool enough for my aesthetic or whatever. And realizing that I could actually become a scrapbooker in a way that felt really good to me, which was minimal stories, photos, saving the memories of, my family's life, and doing it in a way that I don't have to use doilies. I don't have to make my corners round. I can do it the way I want to do. So finding that, and then in that very beginning, I found Two Peas in a Bucket because I was Googling information on scrapbooking. And I'm pretty sure, Jennifer, I don't know if did we meet through Two Peas, kind of? I mean, I knew you were, I might have been a little before your time.
Probably.
Because we were, anyway. That is, though, where I did make some of the closest friends that I have today, which is crazy. Yep. Like one of my two best friends I met online, at Two Peas, and another of my closest friends in Minnesota I met at Two Peas. She was a garden girl. And this whole online community really appealed to me because I'm an introvert, and I think I like to be home, but I could connect with people, and we all shared our scrapbook pages, and it was amazing. So that's how I got into it. And then before you know it, I sent some pages to Simple Scrapbooks magazine because I'm like, my style is their style. And it was. I sent in some pictures. I got a phone call from this woman. She was super hyper. Her name was Stacy Julian. She was the publisher, and she's like, listen, I don't know who you are, but I want to work with you. And that was what opened the door to get in with that whole Creating Keepsakes, Simple Scrapbooks organization. And what ended up happening was I told them, hey, by the way, you need any help as a graphic designer? Because that's what I do. Like, that's my day job. And eventually they said yes. And eventually they hired me to do freelance work. And then eventually I became the creative director for Simple Scrapbooks magazine. And it was great because I love graphic design, and it was with this new hobby that I was just obsessed with. And so they would fly me out to Utah every 2 months for editorial meetings. I was like in my early 30s. I just felt fancy. You know what I mean? I'm like flying across the country. I worked for a craft magazine. It was just fantastic. And during that time, very early on, I had entered a contest, the Creating Keepsakes Hall of Fame. Now, those of you who don't know, this was a big deal back in the day.
Big deal.
You would submit your scrapbook pages, and you would wait by the phone, back when we had phones that we would hold to our ears, and you would wait for that call from the one and only Lisa Berenson. Mm-hmm. Well, guess who got that call in 2002? Both of us can raise our hands. And Mike, I think now would be a great time to show the photos from the Creating Keepsakes Hall of Fame, 2002. The young ingenue on the left, Jennifer Ditz, and Catherine 𝗔𝗟𝗪. Catherine. I went by Catherine. Look at us.
Wow. That is so classic.
We're babies.
And what year was that?
2002.
2002.
Gosh.
Yes.
Babies.
Yes.
Babies.
And, that happened right as I was, what's that?
22 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even wear glasses, but I did know how to tilt my head on a shot, didn't I? But when that happened, that's when Simple Scrapbooks wanted me to work with them too. So there was a bit of a scuttlebutt because I was supposed to be exclusive then to Creating Keepsakes and do things for them, but I already agreed to work with the other magazine because they were both published together. Anyway, it all worked out great. It was a wonderful experience. I traveled, I taught classes, I did Creating Keepsakes universities, which almost killed me because they were a lot of work. Right, Jennifer? They're a lot of work.
Oh, yes.
And yeah, so there I was, immersed in the industry. I wrote a couple books on scrapbooking. They're no longer in print. One was called Clean and Simple Scrapbooking, and one was called Clean and Simple Scrapbooking, the sequel. So I was all in. And I mean, Mike, you probably have a slide. You want to show the books? Come on.
See 'em. I didn't keep mine, so I'm glad you did. He's pulling up. There you go.
That's what I did.
Wait, I have the blue one. I totally bought that blue one.
I have the blue one too.
Yeah.
That was magical. And someone said to me once, your daughter's name is 𝗔𝗟𝗪. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no, it's amazing. The word, she goes, oh my gosh, I thought your daughter's name was 𝗔𝗟𝗪. And I thought, that's interesting. Anyway.
I hope you call her that once in a while.
I probably should. But there she was. Look at that. Oh, and now she's 28 years old. Time flies. Time.
Yes.
And look at my son. He's little tiny guy just in the corner. I'm sorry, Cole. Anyway.
Those were timeless books.
There I am immersed in scrapbooking, and there were times over the years. I remember running into Jennifer at trade shows. And I remember Jennifer specifically, I feel like one time I remember seeing you. I think it was the last time CHA was in Los Angeles, back when it was called CHA. And it was in Los Angeles, and I saw you crouched down in a corner, and I heard someone say, hey, stranger. And I looked down in the corner, and it was you. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's Jennifer McGuire in the corner hiding.
Hiding.
And
this is what I do. That shows.
That's what you did. And that was right as the industry for me was starting to change, because magazine that I was working for was going out of business. And luckily for me, that went out of business, and I ended up joining the Scrapbook and Cards Today family, which has been going strong for, the publisher's going to kill me. How many years? 18 years, I think.
She's here. She can tell us in the comments.
Is Catherine here? Yeah, I think it's, oh gosh, Catherine, I can't believe I don't know this off the top of my head. But I was thrilled to get back into another scrapbook publication.
Sure.
And so I've been working with Catherine since 2015. And it's been a fantastic fit. However, there have been times throughout all this history where Jennifer McGuire has said to me, and I quote, you should make cards. I'm like, because card making involved stamping, and I was never good at stamping. And so I thought, I'm just gonna scrapbook. I'm gonna stay over here.
She just would blow me off left and right.
Left and right. Like I would like patting her on the head and saying, there, little bunny. Okay, yes, Catherine, It's 18 years. I knew it. It's like, because scrapbooking cards today is now a legal adult. Okay, that's how you remember. They can vote now. Good, get out there and vote, scrapbooking cards today. Anywho, but this is how it all started for me as a card maker. It was this simple. Catherine, who is a lovely friend and colleague, she said to me in the spring of 2017, I would like you to do a project for the blog. I'd like you to do a card. I think it might have been tied into, it wasn't World Card Making Day, but anyway, she asked me to do a card. And I said, well, I don't do cards. And she's like, well, let me have some stuff sent to you and we'll see how you do. So Stampin' Up! Sent me a Big Shot and some dies. And I made my very first card for the blog. Mike, go ahead. I've prepared for this. Show that first card.
Nice.
Wow.
That's the card. Now, here's what's funny. I didn't know what size it was supposed to be. I printed the greeting out on my computer, and then I used Stampin' Up! Dies and the embossing folder to make the frame. And I used my silhouette cutter to make the flowers. And then I put little enamel dots in the center. And that, my friends, that was what got me hooked. I made it, and all of a sudden, the idea of die cutting and stamping, I'm like, I must know more. I must know more. And when you want to know more, where do you go? You go to YouTube, and you search Jennifer McGuire. So I'm like,
your friend has been telling you
she's been doing this for like 10 years, 50, I don't even know how long. And I immersed myself in watching Jennifer. And then I found Gina K. And I can't even tell you how many hours I spent watching and then shopping and then watching. And then Jennifer would say, hey, to some of her industry friends, Cathy Zielske, we're trying to get her in. Why don't you send her some stuff? And that's how it started. And again, I still have my first card right here.
Aww.
Nice. Beautiful.
I remember, Cathy, you sending me a picture of that card. You're like, I finally made a card. And I'm like, okay, if you're this good on the first attempt, this is gonna, she's sticking around. So I was pretty happy about it.
I think what happened to me in card making, which was different than scrapbooking, because I'm not scrapbooking anymore, there was something about card making that felt so freeing. I didn't have to ask anyone's approval because there's no story that I'm sharing. There's no picture. You know, my children are adults. They don't want me, me writing a page like, my daughter got her first brief today in law school. It's their lives are their own, and I'm grateful they let me share as much as they did. But card making gave me a chance to do things in a way that was, I don't know, I've never felt as creative as I do now in card making, because I've been doing this for 7 years. Every time something turns out right, every time a card is done, my reactions are genuine. Like, I still think this is ridiculously fun. And I do things like, Christina, I didn't know how to paint, but I'd watch Kristina Werner videos and I'd be like, well, she's using distress inks. There's just so much things, or there's so many things still yet to try. And I'm shocked that it's this much fun and that I'm able to do this as my job now.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. And the only other thing I was going to show you guys, which I forgot about, let's see if I can make this work. Look at these.
Look at that.
These are my first hero art stamps.
Wow.
And this is from 2003. So I bought these as a scrapbooker because I was determined to stamp on my layouts. And then these little Hero Arts little mini wood blocks. Do you remember when this style was all the rage? These are of the many stamps that I got rid of, and a lot of them were like old Stampin' Up! Wood stamps. I have kept these in a little drawer because they remind me of the first stamps that I ever bought, and I just had to show them because I'm like, I have these. Anyway, I should try to work them back in somehow, but those are old.
Those are classics. Yes.
They are.
Well, I just love hearing your story, both you, Kristina, and Cathy. It's really inspiring to, again, looking back really gives us a focus on today and how we can kind of really capture where we are. Like talking about the magazines back in the day. I mean, we're talking 2000s. Magazines were everywhere. You would go a whole section of magazines at your local store, right? And you would, you get the new edition. It would be really exciting. And so many have gone out of business, sadly. And there are new ones that we've talked about that you work for that are still going strong. But that was such an important part of things. And it comes back, I think, to just the way you mentioned finding Jennifer, finding YouTube, and other forms, of course. I mean, there's Instagram Reels, and there was, so many other opportunities to find social media, inspiration, videos. I mean, Gina K was probably one of the first that I saw that really used video as a format. And that kind of in the background and eventually got bigger and grew until today. Now you can find inspiration. I mean, how often do you go live, Cathy? Every week, maybe?
I go every week now, and it's just in some weeks I think the cards are better than others, but I'm never completely sure what I'm going to be doing. But I've loved it, and that was not something I would have seen myself doing. I mean, I love doing the videos, but the live it wasn't. But it's again, it's so fun. It's a chance to hang out with people in the chat who are actually interested in the same kind of thing that you are interested in, which is making cards. And it's ridiculously fun.
Yeah. And that we miss the tactile, like because magazines aren't there anymore. We don't get to open them and hear the pages and smell, the printed magazines. But, it's more time being able to watch videos, which have, vaulted strengths that magazines can't, which is obviously their motion. And you can interact in real time or watch a replay later, but still get, that's the way I do it, is I stop it, pause it, try it, right? You can't necessarily get the details or ask the questions on a magazine. So YouTube's really, I think, been a revelation, specifically talking too about that community piece, finding friends and sharing with friends like we're doing tonight. All of you joining us, thank you so much for all of your wonderful comments. I wish we could answer each one of them. Try to reference as best as we can, because I think there's some great questions out there and great comments. Thank you for participating in this. And so many people are saying that they love magazines, they love their local stores, they miss archivers, they love seeing you, Cathy, and you, Kristina, doing the things that you do on YouTube. But one comment that I noticed that I think is very important to focus on is somebody said that they're introverted. And yet they still can find a lot of joy in community, or maybe they're overseas. I saw some of those comments, and they really feel like they're a part of the community because of the way this community has evolved, that format. Maybe classes, going to stores years ago would have been harder, but it does seem like YouTube can spread globally. Even if you're introverted and don't want to do it yourself, maybe you can still talk with Cathy, you can talk with Kristina, you can talk with Jennifer via comments. And I think it's a wonderful format and medium that I think has allowed our industry not to dip when people started seeing less excitement. Because, when magazines went away, there was less exposure, less advertising dollars in the industry. When Two Peas in a Bucket closed, there were less places to buy things. When archivers went away, you just couldn't go to a store if you didn't have another one near you. And yet we continued to grow because of, I think, this inspiration that has been brought. So this is no small contributor. What we're doing tonight and what all of you do all the time, both in video and live format on YouTube. So this is the heart of inspiration and creativity, I think. And I think we're all better for it as an industry.
For sure.
You know, I saw someone in the comments say, I love the smell of magazines. And I got to tell you, Scrapbooking Cards today, you can still get a physical magazine.
You can.
And every time
It's
I get my
great.
issue, I put it to my face and I just breathe it in, because I'm a print designer at my core, and I will never not love when that comes off the press. So you still can get our magazine in paper form and smell it all you want.
So true.
True. Smell.
It's true.
Straight off the printing press. It's so delicious. I love that smell.
Yes.
I don't need the smell of a newborn baby. I want the smell of a printing press.
Right? I want that toxic ink. I want to smell it.
Yes.
That's awesome.
So one of the things that I would love to hear from both of you, how do you kind of, given that you're both considered very accomplished, I think, I mean, if you watch your videos, of course, you're trying things and experimenting and doing new things and learning too. But how do you help people who are just starting? Maybe who don't have all the supplies, don't have a MISTI, might not even have a die cut machine, right? Maybe haven't even bought a stamp yet. How do you kind of encourage new stampers, new card makers, to really kind of join this community and join this craft? Because I think that's something that this whole industry needs to, certainly as a manufacturer like Hero Arts, and somebody asked the question, how do all of you guys, even though you're competitors, work together? This is why we work together, because we all have to find new stampers, new crafters, inspire new people. I see Simon Hurley in the comments. Love Simon. Everything he does makes this industry a better place. And even if we're, quote, competitors, we work together. We share in order to be better for all of you. Inspiration will raise, what's the term? I can't remember now. I think it was in the first episode.
Rising tide
Water.
lifts all ships.
Catherine says it.
Rising tide lifts all ships.
Thank
That's
you,
right.
Christina.
Yep,
Rising
that's what it
tide
is.
lifts
Rising-
all ships. And that's the answer to that
true.
question. How can we be competitors and still work together so well? Like, I talk with Ranger now and then about how the industry is going. Like, I'll call up Greg at Concord and Ninth. Gina and I have often talked about things. Certainly Heidi Kraus, Simon Says Stamps. Catherine, you know, we're competitors. We work together. It's the way the industry works around this idea that in the end, we all are here for the same thing: community, inspiration. And a part of that is finding new stampers, new card makers, welcoming them into this community. So in turn, Christina, how, and then I want to hear from you too, Cathy, how do you really see that as your job, and how do you kind of find that kind of weaves into everything that you do?
Yeah, that sometimes it's hard because as crafters, we're so excited to use the latest, greatest new thing. But I think also there's something to be said for like making sure there's an education aspect to what we do. I know Jennifer really feels strongly about this, making sure she's teaching something. And Jennifer's really good about like offering suggestions. Like, if you don't have this, try this instead, or, you know, like get creative with it, you know, whatever. I do that also. I try to do that some too. I think we're coming at this from different angles. My angle is I love painting in watercolor. And for a lot of people, sometimes that can be a good entry point because they can buy an inexpensive Crayola watercolor set, and all they really need is just that set and some paper, and they can do some really fun things. And the next thing you know, they're like, well, I really wish I had a greeting. And next thing they're buying stamp, you know, like you can get them that way.
It's a slippery slope.
It is. easy rabbit hole to fall down.
Yes.
Very true.
Yeah.
Well, and one
well
thing
said.
I've seen Christina has done, I think, an excellent job at the whole minimal supplies thing. I mean, there are things she does that will blow you out of the water, and you're like, never in a million years can I do this. But then she'll do a series every now and then of like minimal supplies, which is just what she said. I'm going to show you how to paint Christmas packages with a cheap brush and Crayola paints, and you don't need, and then you're going to use your scissors to cut them out. And I think you do a good job of that, Christina, of providing that balance to show beginners how to do that. I would have never, ever picked up a paintbrush if it weren't for watching some of your videos. That was not something I would have ever thought I would do. So it encouraged me. So I think you do a great job at that.
Well said, Cathy.
I have this.
That's exactly what I was going to say too, Christina, is that I think you show people how to do things with things that they have. Like, see, Cathy was inspired. And I think that's such a very important thing. I did that after watching
one of her videos.
Yeah.
Faux dip dye.
Didn't do anything with it. It's that faux dip dye.
Yes.
Christina makes it approachable. She's her work is, and that is incredibly important.
Word. Yes. Well done, Christina. I think that's a very important part of what we all do, and I think you do it as well as anyone, because watching you, I think a lot of your videos make it, and you say, oh, you don't need this, but if you do, you can try it this, and if not, you could do this way. And I think that's a very important part of what we're doing. I'm going to, before we hear from you, Cathy, how you attract new card makers and stampers, I am remiss. My team's telling me that I forgot to say that we do giveaways. And we have 4 giveaways that are coming up that we're announcing very soon. 2 from Hero Arts, 1 from Simon Says Stamps, 1 from Ranger. And we will announce those very soon. I also want to say that we have an upcoming Stamp Along, which is the Hero Arts version of a class program. And that's coming up on the 12th and 13th of July, and we are graced by Jennifer, Cathy, and Christina joining us, among others. But let me tell you, the reason why I'm bringing this up, and by the way, the bundle is now available again, so if anybody missed that, you can get it. It's online and now available. But one of the things that I want to say about that is that Hero Arts has always had the theory that, yes, you can buy the bundle of products that the teachers are going to use, but you don't need to. It's supposed to be around the idea that craft with the things that inspire you, just the way that Christina talked about being inspired early and maybe not finding all the things that she liked, and so she went and found it herself. Same with you, Cathy. You mentioned how you kind of maybe didn't see your style, but you found it. And that's what our Stamp-Alongs are about. You don't have to use our supplies. Use the supplies you have. And if you don't have the money to buy the big bundle, you're still going to have a great time joining Jennifer, Cathy, and Christina in doing that. And I think that's a very important part of this industry, is being sure that we include people who are excited to give it a try, but maybe don't really know what they're doing yet, or haven't found their style, or haven't found their vision. So, Cathy, back to you. How do you feel that you have a reputation for this, for attracting new stampers and new card makers?
I think
she's on her style.
Yeah.
It's because I send cash in the mail. No, I pay them. I offer everyone a $5 entry fee. No, I pay them. Well, I think, okay, so here's the thing. I am indebted. I am indebted to Jennifer and Christina, Gina, by watching, because I've taught online classes before in the scrapbook world, so I know that whole techie side, and that's a thing I had in my back pocket because I'm a tech nerd, and I'm indebted to them because they are all teachers at their core. I mean, they're very creative, but they're also teachers, and so when I started to make videos, and it literally was, well, Jennifer makes card videos, I'm going to give this a try. I wanted to do something similar. I wanted to teach and welcome from a beginner's perspective, because even though I'd been crafting in the scrapbook world, I was a beginner, and I felt like a beginner for a really long time. And that was part of the fun for me and the joy. And so what I'm hoping, now it's 7 years in, you know, I've been making cards for a while. I still want to show people that this is new to me. I haven't tried this. I haven't done this technique. Come watch me do this, because I'm going to make mistakes, which I often do. And I keep a lot of that in my videos because I figure, you know, we all start somewhere. Even 7 years in, I'm still messing things up,
Yep.
you know, because it's paper, and it's like you can start again. And so the way I hope to invite people in it is to authentically share how much fun I'm having. And here's the thing though, I want to do more beginner type videos though, because I do get people who will leave a comment and say, you know, do you have a video on how to, the different kinds of inks? And my answer is always the same: JenniferMcGuireInk.com. Go search. I do it all the time because I'm like, I could do that, but guess what? I know someone who's done it really well and researched the heck out of it, and I'm going to send you her way, you know? And that's the other thing I think about this industry is we do share, we do redirect, we do say, go check out this company, go try this person, go watch this person's channel. Here's a video for you. Because no one single person can do it all. And that's actually what I really love about this community, you know, that I know I can send someone, you want to learn to paint, go watch Christina. You want to learn everything else, go see Jennifer, you know, like, and then other people too, you know. I love finding new creators who are new, who have small channels, who have under 500 subscribers. And I look for these people and I'll watch their videos and I'll leave a comment and just encourage people. Hey, you're all sharing creative stuff. And I don't know. So I don't know. I don't know if that really answers the question, Erin, but because I still feel somewhat fresh at this, I hope that comes across for people who are new and think, well, I seem to like Cathy. So I also saw someone in the chat that said, talking about introverts and extroverts, Jennifer and I have talked about this so many times. It's, you know, it's a common discussion, but someone's like, I hope I see Cathy at events next year. It's like, yeah, you're not gonna. She's just gonna be here. Yeah. She's just gonna be right here. But I can talk all day online. So
I'll tell you that I think what Cathy brings that our industry really needed is this refreshing joy of what we're doing. Because I feel like that has been good for beginners and those of us who have been around for a while doing this. It's been a refreshing joy, and the excitement is contagious, and I love that. And Erin, I got to say, you mentioned something about competitors. I get questions about this a lot. You know, why do I tell people to go watch Christina or Cathy's videos or whatever? Here's the thing. I don't want to be the only person doing YouTube videos. I think of it as like, say, a school. You don't want to be the only third grade teacher, you know, or the only teacher in the school, right? You need a community. You need people that have different, you know, somebody who's good at art, somebody who's good at music, somebody who's good at math, different skill sets. And that will make for a more well-rounded kid. Well, it's the same thing with what we do. We all have a different approach, and we work together. Like what you guys don't see when you watch these videos is I text with Cathy and Christina every single day. Now, it's not always about crafting, but every single day we're talking about something, whether it's potatoes or a new, you know, tool or something. We're talking every day.
Packing for Alaska.
What was that? Packing for Alaska. Yes, that was today's. So these are real friendships and relationships, and it reminds me of like when you know your kids' teachers, you know, some of them really connect and work well together, and it's the same thing. None of us want to be the only ones doing this. This is really important that we support each other, and it helps for a better industry, and it helps for more inspiration for you all too. So it really benefits everybody.
You know, I was just thinking, what makes it so exciting to see Cathy come to card making? I think it's a direct comparison to like right now, one of our good friends, Sika, is reading Harry Potter for the first time.
Yeah.
It's like that. We've all read Harry Potter. We love it. We're excited about it. And then to have someone that we love, to have them discover it, it's like we're discovering it again too.
Yes.
Or taking someone who's never been to Disney World there
Disney
for the
World.
first time.
We took Sika
Yep.
to Disney World and
Like
we
that.
got to experience her at the first time there. It's just refreshing. It's eye-opening. It's lovely.
I just didn't know. And now look at my room. Look behind me. This is all for card making. I made an office for card making. I mean, I've spent thousands of dollars on technical equipment and an air conditioning system for card making.
We never said Cathy did anything halfway.
No. Cathy does nothing halfway. Nothing.
No half measures availed. Gentle into that good night. I don't know. I don't know what the saying is, but yeah, no. And I mean, but again, it helps to have friends. I mean, and the funny thing is too, Christina and I work together as graphic designers because I'm freelance for Simon as well. And you know, all these years, I only got to know Christina through card making. And it was really cool to realize, you know, oh, we both have this design background and oh, you're really fun. And I don't know, it's just been really fun for me to work with her because she is also one of the most creative people that I've ever met. And as I would say, I said off camera, and I will say it again, creativity flows through that woman like the river Ganges.
That is a direct quote from off camera.
It's an endless font. I think I said it better before, but you know, so I just had to get that in.
Yes. And I really think we should publish the 10 minutes before we started this show, the pre-show, because it was quite funny. It had quotes like
First
that.
show's good.
It was.
Some of my best material.
Yes.
Well,
I
heard it all.
Yes.
I also, real quick, Erin, there was something else you need to mention about what's special tonight. It's a big deal. Do you remember?
No.
There's a sale.
Oh, yeah. I do remember
Jennifer
that, yes.
brings it back around. I love it.
Come on.
Yes.
This is too big to not mention.
Yes. So we do have, given it's our 50th anniversary, and it's not quite 5. It starts right at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 1 minute. We try to wait so that people don't leave our live. Continue to stay with us. But before I say anything about that, let me just say that we do have 4 winners that have been announced. That it's been pinned. If you don't see it, I'll read it right now. Email info@heroarts.com for more information. And if you're a winner, obviously, so that we can send you a gift certificate. Here's something that we did for this, because this is 50th anniversary and we had so many ideas. Hanging with Heroes, the one that ended up sticking. But also the idea that we talked about is including a friend. I mean, this industry, after all, is about community. And so we're giving away Hero Arts $50 gift certificate to heroarts.com. And if you're a winner, you also get a $25 gift certificate that you can give to a friend. So the first winner tonight is Carrie Sully. So congratulations. The second winner of another $50 and again a $25 for your friend is Lori Beck. Congratulations to both of you. Scrapbook.com has given a gift certificate for all of these episodes, and they agreed before they knew how many we were going to do. So we'll just keep doing them. Scrapbook.com, again, you can email info@heroarts.com, and we'll get that information to them. But for Scrapbook.com, $50 gift certificate, the winner is Susan Morales. And then for Ranger Inc., they also agreed to do it for all the episodes. It's Nicole Limberg, $50 for rangerinc.com. Again, email info@heroarts.com. Thank you and congratulations to everybody. And I will say that, which I've said before, that in our marketing plans for the 50th anniversary, I suggested we give a 15% discount, and my marketing team didn't hear 15, they heard 50. And so we have a 50% discount on
Wow.
stencils. So 24
Yep.
hours
Get some.
only. Any
That's a good
stencils
one.
that you haven't had, haven't bought, would like to buy, this is a 50th anniversary. Thank you to everyone. Congratulations for kind of sticking around in this industry for so many years and enjoying seeing YouTube. And this is a flash sale. 24 hours only. Is going to end at 5 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So get everything that you might want in that
And
time. And finally,
there's no code needed for that. Right. And I put a link down below to my favorite stencils that I think you should all check out. So you can see all those below too. And there's a link for the stamp along that we're all teaching in, because that Erin talked about before. So that's all in the description.
Yes, absolutely. And you know, the interesting thing is, this is the next question that I have for each of you, is how do you stay innovative? We talked about before we actually got live, we were talking about kind of things that inspire us, and you know, how we keep going on things like a Merry Christmas message that Hero Arts has been doing 50 Christmases in a row. How do you continue to find that inspiration, the new ideas, right? Because like you said, Christina, it's true. Sometimes we want to use all the new stuff. That doesn't mean that the new stuff's the best stuff. It might be exciting in the moment, and it's a great kind of, you know, point to, you know, take a live or a YouTube video to really talk about the new stuff. But the old stuff that you have can be reborn too when you get a new color, new distress ink, a new stencil, a new release. And I think that's really the exciting part. In fact, Hero Arts, after 8 years, decided that our My Monthly Hero program that my wife Laura has spearheaded for many years, we decided we'd change it. And so starting in June 3rd, that's next Monday, there's going to be a new, we call it Hero Studio. And so, you know, we have to make changes. You have to kind of, I don't know if it's going to be better. I hope it's better. I certainly hope it does. But it's not necessarily you're changing because there's something wrong. You're changing because it takes, I think, new ideas, new inspiration to really find those things. So come check it out June 3rd, but the Hero Studio, and see if you like our new subscription program. And that's just an example of how we innovate. So, Cathy, starting with you, going on that question, how do you find the inspiration to go new directions, to you know, how you decide what to prioritize in terms of buying? If you decide that you want to get something new, how do you find new ideas when you were designing? You know, or when you're asked to do something new in the magazine, or when you were thinking of new things, what kind of did you fall back on in order to find that inspiration to be new?
That's a big question.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge question, because there's so many areas, right, to find and need inspiration. For example, when it comes to card making, I am always inspired by new product. Now, partly it's because I still feel somewhat new, and there's all these techniques that I still want to get better at, but product inspires me a lot, and especially product that I have not designed myself, which might sound weird, but it's just a thing. Like I love working with other companies other than my brand, because it's coming out of someone else's creative process, right? And I find that really inspiring to want to work with that. You know, for my own designing of products, I tend to do things that are what I would use. I don't illustrate, right? I don't draw. That shouldn't surprise you, but maybe it does. And so a lot of my things are type-based and more, I don't want to say sassy message-based, but you know, they're fun, and typography is involved because I'm good at that. as I was saying earlier before we went live, and the idea of Christmas is coming around again, and we got to design for Christmas. There are times when I feel completely empty. Like, I don't know what I'm going to make. Am I going to do another die set that says Merry Christmas, but this time make it italic? I don't know. And so I think inspiration in general can be kind of a mysterious thing when you don't really know where you're going to go. And then all of a sudden, boom, something hits you. I don't know if that's the answer. So wait for the mysterious force to hit you and then go. Because that is often what will happen to me when I'm designing product. But I do fall back, whether it's making a card, making a product for my product line at Simon Says Stamp. I always fall back on design for pretty much everything at the end of the day. Like, I'm actually going to start doing, I have a video that I'm working on, and it's to do more design tips, because I feel like so often card makers might sit down and they have all the things, but they're like, I don't know what to do with all the things. How do you make all the things look good? And a little design knowledge can be as useful as a MISTI. It can be as useful as a die cutting machine, because it can give you some guidelines for putting things together in a way that when you step back, you're going to be like, oh, it looks pretty good, you know? And so I fall back on just basic design principles, like, oh, I guess I'll just repeat 3 flowers. And I know it's probably going to look pretty dang cute because design. That's my answer.
Yeah. That's a good answer.
You do a fantastic job of keeping the focus on, you know, whatever you're adding to the card and making your eyes just get pulled right in. And I think that's something that sometimes when we get into creating and playing with new things and trying new techniques, we forget that this is about somebody pulling that card out of an envelope and just being excited. And you always, your cards are so inviting, draw you in, and that's what a card should do. And that's one of the things that I like about your cards.
Well, and I love that, Cathy, and I think this is probably exactly what you were saying, is that you're inspired to design what you want to create with. And I'm going to piggyback off that for my answer, which is...
Please do.
I'm inspired to make stuff that, like, for every once in a while, I'll be like, oh, I really want to do this on my card. I'm like, oh, has no one done that yet? Or I don't have something like that. And I'm like, I should make a note of that. And then maybe I can design that. Like, it's something that I want to use myself a lot of times. So,
and sometimes they get a text from their annoying friend who can't design stamps and says, can you do this? Or can you make that? And that's me.
And I love that.
I wasn't sure who that annoying friend was, but okay, I get it.
I do it to you, Aaron, too. I send you texts saying the same thing. Can you do a stencil that does this? So
Let me just tell you,
I just
Jennifer,
try to
you're never
find
knowing.
things that I want to use myself. That's what I do.
And I do love those texts from Jennifer, because there's been times where she's like, I wish I had this. And I'm like, I can make that for you. And then she's really happy and she uses it a lot and shows you 30 different ways to use it. And I'm like, I'm going to show you one, but Jen's going to show you 37. And, so that makes me happy, to get ideas from her, because that's what texting's for. It's not just for memes.
No, but although we do a lot of that.
There's a lot of memes with no explanation.
Yes. Well, Christina, I think that Tim Holtz kind of said it the same way you did. And I think, Cathy, you said it a different way, but meaning the same words. He actually mentioned there's an uncomfortable feeling. And I thought that was pretty interesting to think of, because innovation in other industries is often talked about. It makes people uncomfortable. Change can make people uncomfortable, right? Something different, maybe it doesn't feel safe. And I think that is a little bit what both of you are saying. And maybe you are just used to it as an innovator. And so you don't feel maybe that uncomfortableness like other people. In fact, for you, maybe it's inspiration, and maybe that's what that kind of, oh, something different. Oh, nobody's tried this? Oh, wait a minute. Okay. And so I think that is a lower threshold for being able to take change. And that's what an innovator is all about.
Yep.
And so both of you are saying it, and I said it in a more maybe technical way. You guys both said it more elegantly.
Never thought of it like that.
Yeah, but feeling uncomfortable, meaning, hey, something's different here, and this is a good thing.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate that about both of you. And Jennifer, her texts are always that way. Have you ever thought about, I love getting those texts because I'm like, I bet you I haven't. Invariably, I haven't.
What are they? Those who can't, whatever, just bug other people who can. I something like that. It goes along with that ship and tide thing. I don't know what it is, but I just, I love the job that I have because I get to use the products of the people I love. And that, I mean, when I get a box of products with, with Hero Arts or with Cathy's products or Kristina's products, always exciting. It makes me so happy. So, every once in a while I got to bug them.
Yes. So I think it is that. Sorry, go on.
I will say I have had a little peek at the Hero Studio coming stuff, and I just want to say I'm excited to see that.
I haven't, and I'm
in action in my space.
It's great. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah.
If Kristina, if you haven't seen it, we'll send it right away. I'll overnight it.
Yeah.
Just to you.
Take some pictures, text me.
Yes. And somebody asked, yes, Hero Studio is the reimagined subscription program that replaces My Monthly Hero if you were a kit subscriber. And if you were getting that subscription, you are rolled over for June. So you will get it. And it is free shipping, whatever choice you pick. And there is a $15 choice too. So for the people who mentioned, cost is an issue, there is a $15 choice as well as that. So check it out if you're interested. We've got to make that kind of uncomfortable feeling a little bit, and that's what the Hero Studio is innovation, something new. All right, so we've got new stampers we're trying to attract. We're trying to get new and inspiring ideas year after year, even though some holidays like Christmas, Merry Christmas is a good example, or Happy Holidays. How do you say that differently? And both of you come from design background. So like, what about fonts and typesetting and kind of messages? Like that really is the heart of card making, right? I mean, scrapbooking was maybe the photo was the focus.
The story.
Right.
Scrapbooking, the story, and card making is much more the message or the feeling. So kind of what's your relationships to, fonts in terms of design, but also in terms of the messages that you choose and decide to use? Kristina, how do you kind of think through that as, because that's really the centerpiece of a card.
Yeah. Well, I remember because I was scrapbooking first and then I switched to card making pretty quick. But I remember thinking, I want to make bigger cards. I want bigger greetings. And there really weren't a whole lot, because I think back then you were confined to like the size of the wooden block, or like it was very expensive to produce larger stamps. And so I just wanted things bigger. I'm like, I want to do 5x7 cards. I want to do like big slimline cards. And I just wanted things bigger. So I think over the years, I have satisfied that for myself. I want bigger gradings, bigger die cuts that are nice and big with fancy fonts and things like that. And I really think they're just like any other aspect of art, there's trends. So you'll suddenly see 5 stamp companies have similar fonts in their stamp sets. And I think that's great. That means it's lovely. You can use them all together and doesn't look weird. I think Cathy would also agree with this, that we're a little bit like font snobs. we have fonts we like, and then we have fonts where we're like, that was a choice. And
That's true.
so I am very particular about my fonts, but I have quite a few that I just keep using over and over that I love, and they're simple ones. They're nice, like sans serif fonts that I just like. I know Kathy loves. Is it Archer? Is that the one that you love?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
And I paid good money for that font. And that's something that I think people don't realize. Is like, if there are font type designers out there who are making beautiful type, and it's worth the money that they are charging for that type. I mean, Archer, I think when I bought Archer as a set for myself, it was like $300. And that was a decade ago, you know? And I remember at the time my husband thinking, what? How much? I'm like, listen, this is my business. You get out of my business.
And
I mean,
so much.
I know, like, you know, but we are. And I think the other thing too, Christina, and you see there's just so many good, all the companies are using type really well. But we're snobby about typesetting too. You know, it's like there's a reason you that word looks good. It's because we just kerned that to be minus 20 EMs, and we made it in that, you know, there is care put into every.
True.
We care within an inch of its life. The other thing Christina does is she hand letters, and so some of the greetings that you see from things she's created, she has literally drawn those by hand. And that's why sometimes, you know, I'll say to her, why don't you just whip it up in your handwriting, you know? And and it's so fun to see that come to life in a die too. So
good.
Yeah. And let's take a moment. Christina's handwriting is awesome.
Yeah, for real.
It's so awesome.
Well, thank you.
Perfection.
It's just.
Thank you.
Yes.
Christina, I'm going to send this to you, and I want you to letter something on it, okay? Just like, I love Kathy, and then I'll put it right back up on my bulletin board where it's been for months.
Okay. Yes. You know what? Maybe I'll have to hand deliver. I'll show up at your house and be like, you're not coming to me. I'm going to come to you.
And I don't want you to get lost, so I'm coming too.
Jennifer's coming with.
Who are you? I'll meet you guys at the corner.
We'll text you before we ring your doorbell. It's okay. We'll warn you.
Yes, we always warn each other.
That is true. Yes. There are warnings.
Yeah.
For sure. Well, I do find it it comes back to what a wonderful community this is. The messages and the fonts, kind of seeing trends and ideas kind of spread throughout competitors. And in some industries, in other industries, trust me, and I've worked in other industries, that is not welcome.
No.
And that is a thing that is in fact kind of the opposite. It's a community killer to me. And that's why this industry is so free and lively and friendly and kind, is because we work together and we share on things like Hanging with Hero, kind of our inspirations. There are no secrets to me. Like, even if my competitor were to ask me my most prized secret, I'd be pressed to realize what that prized secret was. Like, what is that secret that I shouldn't be revealing? It's so to me that you say, somebody uses a font and you see 5 companies doing it. I think that's such a wonderful way, because then, like you said, Christina, you can use them together. Like, if you come to, the Hero Art Stamp-Along, if you decide to buy a ticket for, July 12th, 13th, use the competitor's product. That would be a wonderful part. That would be a wonderful gift, really, to the concept of the industry, which is we share, we encourage. You should not just use one company's product. Like you said, Jennifer, you don't want to be alone. You want to be with as many friends as you can find, because otherwise you get into a place where you're starting to lose stores and you're starting to lose vendors, and that is kind of the opposite of what we want. So for me, this is exactly why we do what we do. So I love hearing that you're both graphic designers. My wife is too. She is also a font collector, or maybe a font snob. She likes designing her own fonts and buying them. And it's such an important part of designing kind of messages every year, every season. What about looking forward? This is a question that we kind of in Jennifer and I always talked about looking forward. Even though we're talking 50 years, what do you see? What are you excited about? What inspires you about what's to come? Is there anything that you can think of? You're both techies. I know you both have said that you're techies as well as font snobs and designers, card makers. So what do you see going forward? And you too, Jennifer. What are you excited about? Not just this year, but maybe next year or going forward for this industry.
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I mean, 10 years ago, could we have seen the Misty coming? No,
No.
we didn't see that coming. And that's
Yeah.
like revolutionized a lot of things in the industry. Gosh. You know what? I don't even know. I know that like people, I think we go through phases where people like interactive cards. I think as far as technology goes, there's a lot of fun things happening with interactive stuff. There was something to create that they did with some of the little lights or something that it like sensed you touching or something. What was that? Do you remember what it was, Jennifer?
Was it Pear Blossom? Was that what it was?
Yeah. They were doing something and it was like it sensed you touching
Oh,
something.
you blow the candle out and it would.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like
Brilliant.
an electric light that was lit up and then it would, I think it had some sort of sound sensor or something. So when it heard someone blowing on it, it would turn the light off.
Yeah.
What?
I know.
Like
it's
that's
crazy, isn't it?
That was cool,
So
especially
like,
for birthday.
maybe some more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So inspiration in kind of new product. I think that definitely. I think that's exciting. I think innovation, that uncomfortable feeling or that exciting feeling, I think is vital. It adds an important aspect of everything to the industry. What about you, Cathy? What do you think? What do you want to see more of? Are you excited for anything in particular?
I mean, I still, I sound like a broken record. Also, I like potatoes. I had to work that in. I still find everything that I'm using today so exciting. Like I almost feel sometimes like the industry moves faster than I do. If that makes sense. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm here for that. Whenever something new comes out, I am grateful for the innovators who are thinking of things that I can't think of right now. I make stamps and that's great, but like there are so many things that come my way that I'm like, how did they think of that? That's really cool. Yeah. The Misty is the reason I stuck with card making. That's a fact. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to get those great impressions right out of the gate. So that is a tool that changed this hobby into something that I can do. Someone who's not that coordinated when it comes to stamping. Apparently now I am. So I look forward to what other things are going to come. Because I know for me, I'm just going to stay focused on what I do. And, ooh, that's neat. And, ooh, that's neat. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but I just love seeing what innovations are going to show up that I have nothing to do with. So it makes it seem like this industry is going to continue to surprise us all because someone will come up with, a chip in your brain and you look and you blink and then you have a stamped image. I don't know, things that sounds a little too futuristic and Matrix-like. Let me retract that. You know what I'm saying. I don't want the robot overlords to come and take over our industry, but
no.
Potatoes.
I love that everyone's putting potatoes in the comments.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potatoes coming through.
So the thing with potatoes, we'll tell you the potato thing, and then I'll give you the answer. But the potato thing is before, in our pre-show, we were talking about our love for potatoes. Cathy had to just slide that in
Aaron
there.
doesn't like potatoes.
Yes.
Well, there's a he eats them, but there's a reason he doesn't like them.
Yes, I'm not the biggest fan of potatoes, and I know that's a big red flag. And if you
hurt my heart.
Yes,
we forgive you, Aaron.
you like
You
me a
make up
little
for
less,
it in
I
other
get it.
ways.
It's true. It's true.
And that takes nothing away from all the potatoes that are there, because there's a lot of potato lovers, and I know it was put a potato if you love Cathy, because she was talking about it. So all those potatoes
Oh,
were for
that's
you,
what it
Cathy.
was.
Okay.
Got
Oh.
it.
Yeah. Yes.
Put a cocktail
Well, I
emoji
think
to
those are
up Jennifer.
yes.
A drink.
Well, I look forward to all those futures. I look forward to kind of what we kind of are going to see, the innovations that are invariably going to come, because all the creative people in this industry, it is just wonderful to see. It's another reason why this industry is so wonderful, is that people are creative. Some trained as designers, some have never had a creative background but have found it or found their voice here. So it's wonderful to see everybody kind of sharing that. I'll tell you what I look forward to. I look forward to, if I'm going to look ahead, I look forward to just next week and seeing what Jennifer and Cathy and Christina are going to do on their lives. Because I think it's every time it's just creative and a new way to look, not just at stamping or card making, but maybe at the world. And I think that I always feel very positive about the day when I sit and listen to and look at a live. So I think, Cathy, you were talking about that. That's how you kind of got really excited. And to me, too, that's inspiration. That really is. There are wonderful stores out there and wonderful magazines. There are wonderful communities and events where you can go to, like classes. And there's just something about that kind of YouTube sitting down and seeing a live that really is magic. And I think that probably if there's going to be innovations, there might be innovations there. I don't know.
Yeah.
TikTok is something that we've talked about. I think there's a lot of issues with TikTok that people have, but that's where kind of the 20-somethings are. So I think at some point we'll see some connection that really does spin all the wonderful YouTube content that we have in card making and really connect with my daughter, my son, the 20-somethings who are really playing in that space and less on YouTube. So to me, that's an innovation that I think if that comes, that link can be made. That'll be a wonderful gateway to younger people also getting excited. Maybe not about, the woodblock stamp that we grew up on that Hero Arts has done for 50 years, but the new, the paint, the liquid watercolors, the inks, the distress inks, those have kind of a unifying, even if you're not in card making, a unifying way, I think, to bring people together. So that's what I'm looking forward to. What about you, Jennifer?
But Aaron, never say never, because you know what? People rediscover woodblock stamping. People rediscover things. And I just have to give a shout out to everyone who's here watching us, but also the people who still embrace long form content. Because I love long form content. That's just videos, right? That's a video that lasts longer than 5 minutes. One thing crafting and videos does for me is it helps me slow down a little. It helps me connect to something a little. It helps me relax. And I'm just a fan of YouTube. I'm a fan of longer form content for sharing what we're doing, because I don't want to do it in 30 seconds or less. Because that takes some of the joy out of the process of creating. So I just want to give a little shout out. Long form content.
Yeah, I'm with you, because I feel like I want to teach, not just try. It's not about enabling folks to buy stuff and use stuff, but more teaching how to put it to good use. So it takes a little more time. It's like you can't go to a math class and learn in 30 seconds. You need a little more meat to it. So it's good for hooking new people in, I will say.
Yes.
I think it's cyclical. I think it comes back. Like I remember there was a moment in the social media space where it was really, really short videos we're in, and then it went to long videos, and now it's come back around to short. I think it's going to come back around to long again as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I remember when I started Christina, I tried to make sure everything was less than 10 minutes, my first videos, because, you know, and now I don't even, like, I'll record footage, right? And I record it on my computer, and I look, and I'm like, well, there's about 75 minutes for one card. I'm like, what am I going to do, you know? And I chop it to the best of my ability, but I'm like, gone are the 10-minute days, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, in some ways, the opposite of doom scrolling, right? And a lot of people are saying they're not TikTok fans, and there are issues with TikTok, and you can spend tons of time just going through the short form. The opposite of that is the long form, YouTube, where you really do relax, listen into the voice, and get into the rhythm of the card that's being made, or whatever project's being done. And in some ways, stamping is analog, right? Because it's even you might be using tools like we might be using tech like this live, but you're really using your hands. You know, you can see the ink, your fingers, you can smell the magazine, right? Those are wonderful aspects, I think, that analog part of it that really make this industry beautiful. And then, of course, the community, doing it with friends. TikTok's the opposite of that, I think. Not that TikTok doesn't have its place, but I'm just saying that long form, you do get to spend time with not only the person who's teaching, but also the people in the comments.
There's room for both, and I think there's benefits to both. But I'm an old lady. Let's just be clear. Who talks too much?
Well, and if I may say another thing about YouTube, I personally feel as a 58-year-old YouTuber that it's not ageist. That there's a community in card making, and you can find your people, and I love that. I love that it's not like if I were going back into the graphic design market, right, and handing out my resume, they'd be looking at my age, thinking, "Oh, I don't know if we can bring her on now. She's going to retire in 5 years and take all our money," you know. But on YouTube, I feel like it's a community where anyone can share and create. And just because you're an older content maker, you still can do it. And I love that. Like, I find that very refreshing. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
You know.
And then we have people like Christina, young Christina, that keeps us on our toes.
Young ingenues.
Yeah. And Simon, oh goodness, we're good.
Simon is still in high school, I think, isn't he?
No, he's not. But he is 21.
He is
22 now?
Break now.
Well,
he's
speaking
21.
about birthdays. Yeah, speaking about birthdays, I think Simon has a birthday soon, or it's just passed, or it's coming up. I know Christina, right?
Yeah.
May birthday
month. It's been birthday month, all month long, on my YouTube channel and at my house. It's been birthday month. So,
Simon's going to be 22 tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Simon. You're getting up there just like us, honey.
Happy birthday, Simon.
Watch out.
Wait.
There you go.
Didn't we say that you guys were in the Hall of Fame 22 years ago?
Yeah.
I just had to bring that back right around.
You guys were being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Mike is all of a sudden going to erase Christina from the screen. She's terrible.
Yes.
22 years ago, I got this and Simon in utero.
Yep. It's wonderful.
Oh, Simon.
It's wonderful.
Simon, we love you, and we only tease you because you're younger than some of our kids.
Yeah.
That is true. He is younger than both of my children, and he's a fabulous content creator and human.
And I owe him a call. I was supposed to call him today, and I didn't. So, Simon, I'll call you on your birthday. I'll bug you on your birthday. There's your warning.
Right.
My face hurts from smiling all hour. Like, well, we've been going.
I know. I try not to have the resting, unpleasant face, so I try to smile when I'm not talking. And it either is creepy or natural. You let me know.
Yes, it's definitely creepy for me. All right. Well, with that, happy birthday, Christina. Happy birthday month to you. Thank you for joining tonight. Thank you for joining our Hanging with Hero, talking the industry, sharing your story. Thank you, Cathy, for sharing your story and your inspiration. I think this is just tons of fun. It's a great way to honor Hero Art's 50 years. It's a great way to honor 50 years of card making and stamping. Thank you, Jennifer. There is no better co-host than you. I really appreciate you doing this with me.
I'm warning you because I keep wanting to do, we keep thinking of more of these we want to do. This might be like a permanent thing. And we just keep going on and on.
All year. Do it all year.
And everybody has more to say, so we can, bring people back. And a lot of people are asking when the next one is. Do you know?
Let's see. Off the top of my head, we are taking a little bit of a vacation just due to scheduling. So
because I'm in Alaska with Christina.
Exactly. So it's not in 2 weeks, it's in 3 weeks. So 3 Wednesdays from now. And we will put out marketing and a schedule and a calendar with not just that date, but more off into July very soon. I can't do it tonight, though. I don't know off the top of my head. Sorry.
Okay.
But yes, watch for that information. But man, it's been so wonderful to talk with you, both Kristina and Cathy. I am just honored that you agreed to join. I admire both of you. I consider both of you friends. So thank you very much for spending 90 minutes with Jennifer and I.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Jennifer and me? Jennifer and me. Yeah, that's
right. And also in the fall, when we come back for the 3rd time, we're going to be doing a very extended discussion of the potato in all its forms.
We shall do that.
That's for later in the year.
And Aaron can share his story of why he isn't the biggest potato fan. So,
Yes, we'll save that. We'll save that to keep him coming back.
Okay. Sounds good. And maybe we should have potatoes so that we can actually taste it and see real-time reaction to the flavor. Yes.
My husband is bringing potatoes home shortly, so.
Excellent.
We'll have to bring Laura Basson in because she loves herself some potatoes too. She loves fried.
Oh, hey, Crafty says potato stamping in the comments. We could bring it back.
Oh, yeah.
Potato stamping.
Let's do it.
Carving the potato into your design and stamping it. That is
I love it.
Fun. Yes.
Jennifer's
I don't know
excited.
if Laura Basson will join us, though, because I have that red flag of not really liking potatoes, so she might not.
No, she's okay. She will understand your story.
Okay.
She's a very forgiving person.
Okay, good. Yes. As everybody is in this industry. That's why I love it so much. So, all right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining. It's been wonderful. We have to cut this off sometime, even though I really don't want to, but it's starting to get late. We really appreciate you joining. It's dinner time. I won't be eating potatoes, but I think the rest of you probably will with all the talk of potatoes. And yes, I look forward to the next installment, which we will announce soon. Thank you, Kristina. Thank you, Cathy. And always thank you, Jennifer.
Love you all. Thank you for being here, everyone.